Muscle contraction is one of the most important functions of the human body, and according to livestrong.org, it all depends on one simple mineral, calcium. Our everyday lives and movements depend solely on muscle contraction. While you may think that muscle contraction is a complex process, it actually occurs in just 3 simple steps. The 3 simple steps of muscle contraction are depolarization, calcium release, and the power stroke. The process of muscle contraction ultimately occurs by the sliding filament theory of contraction, as stated by ptdirect.com. Adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, is absolutely necessary for muscle contraction. ATP is the energy that the body stores in order to carry out its everyday proper functions. Without the presence of ATP, our muscles could not contract, and therefore we wouldn't be able to move. The process of contraction occurs in this specific order every single time movement of muscles is required. Depolarization of the somatic motor neuron is the initial stimulus for muscle contraction. An action potential then occurs in this neuron and causes acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter, to be released from the axon terminals of the neuron. Acetylcholine then binds to nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, causing the opening of sodium voltage-gated channels. The opening of these channels causes an influx of sodium and an efflux of potassium, causing the depolarization of a cell. The release of calcium is the next step in contraction. Depolarization of the somatic motor neuron causes a small amount of calcium to be released, and then the calcium moves through ryanodine receptors. This causes more calcium channels to open, and an even greater amount of calcium is released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum into the sarcoplasm. DHP receptors in the T-tubules are activated, opening ryanodine channels and causing an influx of calcium. The last step of muscle contraction is the activation of the power stroke. The calcium released in the previous step binds, forming the calcium-calmodulin complex. This complex phosphorylates myosin, which binds with actin to form the cross bridge. ATP, or energy, is used to hydrolyze the power stroke, where actin separates from the activated myosin head. This separation causes the muscle to contract. In order to perform routine movements, muscle contraction has to occur in 3 simple steps: depolarization, calcium release, and the power stroke. While you may think that muscle contraction is a complex process, it actually occurs in just 3 simple steps. According to Nature.com, scientists are still curious about several proteins that clearly influence muscle contraction, but this 3-step theory is the best explanation for how the human body moves that has been researched to date. This simple process is the key to one of the major functions of the human body. While muscle fatigue and other muscular problems can occur, normal muscle functioning is carried out by the cross-bridge cycle of the sliding filament theory of contraction. Understanding how skeletal muscle contracts from a cellular level is important to understanding how our bodies work and carry out everyday life functions. Even though it's a simple process, muscle contraction serves a complex purpose in our bodies.